Alhamdulillah. To start with, we would like to thank God as in the end we are able to complete the tasks that have been given through lecturer to us. This assignment had been finished with all of our effort, even though that there was a little bit problem or happened while doing this assignment. Luckily, all the problems had been settled down and we are able to adapt it well and wisely.
Besides that, huge thank we address to our lecturer, Ms. Mohsini binti Mohsin, due to the fact with her guide, our works cannot be done like this. She usually gave us helps and guide a way to do our project in purpose to provide an excellent outcome from the library website that have been studied. The report that we wrote was entitled 3 Library Websites.
My deepest gratitude goes to all of our family members. It would not be available to write down this review without the help of them. Hope that each one managed to pay for the will to provide a whole lot of advantages to our work. Million thanks also we wish to all of our classmates due to the fact that they also assist us in doing this assignment. They consistently provide us thoughts and remarks on our challenges in order that we can enhance the assignment in a lot of methods.
Alhamdulillah. To start with, we would like to thank God as in the end we are able to complete the tasks that have been given through lecturer to us. This assignment had been finished with all of our effort, even though that there was a little bit problem or happened while doing this assignment. Luckily, all the problems had been settled down and we are able to adapt it well and wisely.
Besides that, huge thank we address to our lecturer, Ms. Mohsini binti Mohsin, due to the fact with her guide, our works cannot be done like this. She usually gave us helps and guide a way to do our project in purpose to provide an excellent outcome from the library website that have been studied. The report that we wrote was entitled 3 Library Websites.
My deepest gratitude goes to all of our family members. It would not be available to write down this review without the help of them. Hope that each one managed to pay for the will to provide a whole lot of advantages to our work. Million thanks also we wish to all of our classmates due to the fact that they also assist us in doing this assignment. They consistently provide us thoughts and remarks on our challenges in order that we can enhance the assignment in a lot of methods.
Ôi 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 ôi. Ah!
Okay, so first I'm going to talk about the overview of the British Library. It was founded by the British Library Act as the UK's National Library in 1972. It was formed in response to the findings of the National Libraries Committee's report of 1969 by the Dayton Committee, and in the aftermath of the White Paper of 1971, the British Library, which set the target for the British Library, which are to provide the UK with the best possible central library service. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about the collection and materials in this library. About 170 million items from almost every language and religious community are found in the British Library collections. More than 15,000 works in 14,000 volumes covering different subjects. The British Library has one of the largest and finest collections of Arabic manuscripts in both Europe and North America, with over 100,000 volumes of printed books, periodicals, and newspapers. These include Quranic signs and commentaries, hadith, kalam, Islamic jurisprudence, mysticism and philosophy, art, history, education, medicine, Arabic grammar and philology, and many other subjects and topics. There are 4 retrieval tools used in the British Library, which are: first, indexes, abstracts; second one is card catalog, third catalogs, and the last one is the British Library websites. So, the British Library has been in 3 stages of physical arrangement in 3 different houses of the library. So, the first one was in the Montagu House and the Old Library. In the 1750s, when most of the books in the original Montagu House building were split into 10 large class series, the task of grouping books by subject began. This arrangement continued until 1800, when the whole collection was reorganized when the library moved into the current north wing of the museum. And the second places was in the new library. There is a single series for topography in this new subject scheme, subdivided according to a logical and detailed geographical arrangement. There are no longer the topography travels and the geography and topography divisions. So the third place was in the King's Library and its class catalogue. The King's Library's shelving structure may once have adopted a method close to that of the Old Library, but subsequent transfer, rearrangements, and its wholesale relocation to the King's Library Tower at the British Library indicate that this is no longer particulate. However, there is an additional degree of knowledge we have in the context of the confidential catalogue in 1837 for the historical interpretation of the topics covered by this series. This contains 12 volumes of bibliographic manuscripts entries grouped by subject, collected by the librarian of George III, Sir Frederick Barnard, in 1743 until 1830, who moved the books to the British Museum. So the next one is staffing. Ultimately, the British Library Board is responsible for the supply of services to the library. In London and Yorkshire, they recruit 2,300 staff at the 3 major locations. The Board Oversight Committee, Remuneration Committee, Whistleblower and Capital Ventures Committee sit on British Library Board committees related to their areas of expertise. The board may form a temporary investment committee periodically. The British Library Board delegates the British Library's financial administration to the principal officers of the library, which are the first one, Chief Executive, run by Rolly Keating, and the second one is Chief Operating Officer, run by Phil Spence, and the third one was the Chief Librarian, run by Liz Jolie. The lack of remote control also goes to the center of our collection's materials for legal deposit. UK publishers have been forced to deposit their printed papers for decades to ensure that the published output of the country is maintained. They have to regard digital content as a print legal deposit in compliance of the legislation, like you can only view it on their property, even though it was initially open access content and only one user can see a specific item at all times. These legal limitations suggest that they will have to limit entry only to their premises to legal deposit, even though they are mindful that this does not fulfill consumer standards. Legal deposit libraries have actively promoted better access conditions for the UK Web Archive, as well as wider compliance with existing copyright legislation in the non-print legal deposit regulation. The impact of the British Library is that it brings value both to people who specifically use its goods and service and to the broader UK community, who indirectly benefit from the presence of the library and the service it delivers. It also operates a wide variety of services, including accommodation at St. Pancras for 1,200 readers and the world's biggest paper supply service. The British Library produces about 4.4 times the amount of its public support per year. The overall expense of the British Library per year is €363 million, of which €304 million is indirect and €59 million is direct. €4.4 is created for the UK community economy for every €1 in public funding in the British Library receive annually. As a conclusion, we may refer to a number of important recent successes of some historic importance at the British Library. The library was successfully relocated to its current headquarters building in the St Pancras, London at the end of the 20th century. The building stands as a trustworthy indication of the relevance of all libraries to the cultural, educational, and economic development of the country. Researchers enjoy the reading rooms and the much increased nature of similar services. Tourists rejoice at the display galleries of the showcase, and vast portion of the collections of the library are now stored in an area suitable to their international status. That's all for today. Thank you.
First, State Library of Queensland Overview. Founded in 1896, State Library of Queensland is the leading reference and research library in Queensland. State Library is responsible for collecting and preserving a comprehensive collection of Queensland cultural and documentary heritage, providing free access to information for all Queenslanders, and for the advancement of public libraries across the state. State Library plays a lead role in serving all Queenslanders through statewide library services and partnership with more than 320 vibrant public libraries and Indigenous Knowledge Centre in Queensland. There are 7 collections and materials in State Library of Queensland. First is literacy criticism, second is poetry, third is drama and children books, fourth is history, fifth is arts, sixth is laws, and seventh is music. The retrieval tools that have been used is catalogs, index, and abstracts. The physical arrangement is book, journals, magazine, newspaper, audiovisual item, family history, maps, and it also holds Frank and Eunice Corley House photograph collection, which contain more than 60,000 photographs of Brisbane suburbia. Next is staffing in State Library of Queensland. First is librarian, second is library assistant, third is information scientist, fourth is professional assistant, fifth is first aid officers, sixth is mental health first aid officers, seven is rehabilitation officers and the employee assistance services. Next, for the limitation, libraries need help to demonstrate their impact, gain freedom, and tap into more concealed resources. For example, provide evidence and share success stories to help increase the awareness in local government of the values that libraries bring. Next, advocate to local government that libraries need to have freedom in how they engage with the local community. Second is help libraries gain and create awareness and activate the community. For example, build awareness in public library staff and communities of the changing role of libraries and the many opportunities for libraries to add value to the community. Next, build a distribution network that use local hub and spoke models to distribute information, program, and trainings in more targeted ways. There are 2 impacts of information center collection. First is greater efficiency. With the help of computers, the work in the library can be made quicker, more systematic, and more effective. In the computer store, the records are more precise, more reliable, and more available than the manually prepared records. All kinds of housekeeping and information work can be completed more easily, more accurately, and more effectively. Second is cooperation and resource sharing. No single organization, however resourceful, can now collect and arrange all the documentation available in a particular field in the world. Over the last 2 decades, collaboration and resource sharing between libraries has increased through the advancement of computer-based systems. So for the conclusion, overall State Library of Queensland provide free access of information, technology, and safe places to be during out-of-school hours. In addition, Libraries have the potential to offer high-quality development and employment programs that include training in specific job skills and general personal and social skills. We hope in everyone that read this State Library of Queensland is in sync with public library across the state and working towards achieving the same goals as local librarians.
I'm Randy, and today I will be presenting about Peckham's Library. So, for the overview, Peckham's Library is a library and a community building situated in Peckhams in southeast London. It was designed by Alsop and Stormare, engineered by AKT2, and won the Sterling Prize for Architecture in the year 2000. It is a striking building best image as an inverted capital L, with the upper part supported by a thin steel pillar set at apparently random angles. The exterior is clad with pre-penetrated copper. For the collection or materials, Peckham's Library have money and businesses, education and development, health, sport and psychology, history and arts, languages, nature and environment, science, math and technology, and lastly, society, politics and law. For the retrieval tool used in the library, they have catalogs, classification schemes, indexes, abstract, and bibliographics. For the physical arrangement, they have books, periodical, table and magazine, newspapers, businesses, society and personal archive, maps, electronic resources, and photograph and artworks. For the staffing, they have senior library assistant, assistant librarian in digital access department, research support librarian, library assistant, assistant librarian in user services department, peak relief library and information worker, chief information officer, Revit library coordinator and architecture, fixed income XVA quant analyst, front office quant developer, libraries platform London, library facility assistant, and SR analyst library. For the limitation of this library is that there are no restrictions in the library, where there are no privacy among the users. Their personal information will be easily been exposed to the point of making it is that information helps people or organizations make even more particular decisions or judgment about us. Our bank statement and credit card history can help a bank decide whether we are likely to pay back our loan. Our internet habits can inform that what advertising is shown to what kind of person. As it becomes easier to collect information about our everyday behavior, more decisions are taken in this way. For the impact of the information center collections, the building looks like an inverted capital L, with upper part supported by a thin steel pillar set at random angles. The building includes meeting rooms, children's area, and the library. There is also an Afro-Caribbean section which attracts many visitors. The library was designed to be striking, to make people curious about what lies inside and to challenge the traditional view of libraries, a staid and serious environment. For the conclusion, Peckham Library is a public building that attracts many people, that gives a chance to learn about different culture and civilization. This project managed to bring positive publicity to the area that attracts people to come and visit it. That has a positive effect not only at the economic situation of the area, but at the cultural as well. People exchange opinions, learn from each other, meet new people, and they broaden their horizon.